This is PSAT Proctor training, and even if you have already proctored the PSAT, it's probably been a few months and possibly a year or more, so it's great to review this every time you proctor a test. When you walk into the room that you're assigned to, make sure that the desks are spread apart. 4 feet is a good distance to have students spread apart and that students not seat themselves. So when the students walk in, you can let them know which seat they will be in and they can't sit by alpha. So any students that come in late, they can join you, but if they come in past the pre-administration time and you've actually started the timed part of the test in section 1, they have to go see a supervisor. You'll have to ask them to go talk to somebody about where they should go. If students come in before that, they can start the PSAT. Things you need to write on the board: the school code. It's also called the CEEB code. Our school code is 201145, and then you write the date. So our date for the exam will be April 10th, 2018. And then keep track of the time on the board, the start and end time of each section, and then same with the breaks. And that way they can just look up and see how much time they have left. The other thing is that students should be able to see a clock from where they're sitting. When the students are seated, please take attendance. You're going to give the attendance to one of the testing supervisors or hall monitors to make sure that all the students are accounted for. Students can put all of their backpacks on one side of the room in a space away from the desks, so that can be up by the proctor area or that can be in a different area, but they should all be in one place. Cell phones must be turned off. That's probably one of the first things I would ask all students to do, is turn off their phones and to place their phone on the proctor's desk. So you're not necessarily touching their phones, but they just have to turn it off and put it on your desk. All devices actually need to be turned off. So cell phones, iWatches, any other electronic device needs to be turned off and placed on a proctor's desk. If a student has an iWatch, I would also ask them to leave that on your desk as well. If any of these devices happen to go off during testing, that's going to be an irregularity, and you're going to need to note the time and fill out an irregularity report, and we will get to that in a minute. When students are sitting at their desks, they should have nothing on their desk but a number 2 pencil and a calculator when allowed. There is a list of acceptable calculators. It's in the supervisor manual on page 93. So if you're at this training before testing, which you should be, please make sure that you review that list to make sure that the calculators are approved that they're using. There are no other materials allowed, such as a magazine or a book. If the student finishes earlier, they need to just sit. They cannot take anything out. Once you start PSAT, read the directions exactly as they're written, and please walk around the room to make sure students are filling in the answer sheets correctly. Make sure that if they skip a space that they're bubbling in the correct bubble on their answer sheet. And then once the students start the exam, please fill out a seating chart. We're going to give you a document that you can do that on, and then you can submit that to the supervisor when the PSAT is over. Another really big responsibility for the proctor is to make sure that the test materials are always secure. You're going to want to monitor students during testing and breaks, walk around the room, make sure that students are working on the correct section, and when they do take a break, that those materials are secure. Proctors should not be reading or on an electronic device during testing. Please ensure students are only using the approved calculators. There we go, page 93. And review the testing script before your students even arrive. That's really, really important because you may have questions. So it's really important for you just to kind of go over it and see if you have any questions before you actually start proctoring. Students may not discuss any material on the PSAT at all at any time. All right, so here's the irregularity information. Document any testing irregularities. Note the time, the section of the test the student is working on, and a description of the irregularity. So if there's an urgent situation, if somebody is sick or if somebody is really a disruption to the classroom, then please excuse the student to a hall monitor or supervisor. For other irregularities, such as a student needing to use the bathroom or working on the wrong section of the exam, just have the student continue with the correct section upon their return or discovery that they're working on the wrong section and document the time. and the student can resume onto the section that they should be working on and just put any description of the incident of their needing to leave the room or if they were working on the wrong section. So those students cannot go back and work on missed material, but they can just resume with everybody else. All irregularities are filled in items 6, 9, and 10 to describe the events and actions. Please note the grade level for all students. Individual irregularities are on items 7, 8, and 9 with the same details, but this time with the student's date of birth. So there's like a group irregularity, and then there's the individual irregularities. So with all irregularity reports, just provide as much detail as possible. The chart will be printed from the College Board Supervisor Manual. So it'll have the irregularity, what you should do, and how to fill out the irregularity report. Finishing the PSAT before dismissing students or starting a break, make sure that you have all the testing materials and that they're all accounted for. So before the students even leave the room, please count all the exams to match up how many students were in your room and how many materials you have. Thank you so much for your assistance and for supporting students taking the PSAT seriously. It's really important for them to take it seriously to get accurate results to help prepare them for the SAT and also to help prepare them for their future plans. So thank you again so much.